Hi there, I'm going live. First time in a little while. I'm just getting back into the swing after being sick, and I apologise for a few missed ones, but I've done some recording this morning, and I'm going to do some catch-up ones. So there'll be some on my site soon. So you're not really going to miss out. They're just not all going to be there on a Sunday night because got a bit behind. So anyway, blast from the past. We the one I did this morning, I did a blast from the past and I did a fun fold. So look out for that soon. I just had to edit it. Good thing about lives is that I don't have to edit them. The bad things about lives is that they aren't edited. So you just have to bear with me on that. I'm going to use as well as an old DSP. Oh, first of all, I should say, hi, Carol Ann here. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Cambridge, New Zealand, and I go by the Queen of Scraps because I love using up scraps. I also love using up my DSP, and I'm going to definitely show you how much I love using up scraps when I go through this, what we're going to do today, because we're definitely using scraps. So I made a card this morning from this pattern paper, and it's called Bountiful Blessings, and it was a celebration thing from about a freebie paper from about 3 years ago, and it was lovely. It had strawberries, boysenberries, blueberries, obviously here, raspberries on the papers, and all the papers had a non-fruit but coordinating print that went with it. And this was the blueberry one, and as well as that, it was actually part of a freebie bundle that, as well as the paper, you also got this lovely stamp set. So I'm going to use that a little bit too. So it is a blast from the past, but it's not, probably can't call it vintage because it's only from about 3 years ago. But I thought we would use it today. And I'm just going to use a standard card base. I haven't got everything in front of me, but it would be unusual if I did, because it seems to be sort of my life. One moment, caller. No. I have 3 bone folders, you know, but I can't find any of them right at this moment. I've been creating and not tidying up in between. Sometimes you can use, oh, here it is, right here, right in front of me. Okay, there we go, bone folder. So give it a good burnish. I'm just using a white base. And this is a great way of using up some scraps. So I was looking for something that used 2 centimetre wide strips, because these are 2 centimetres wide. And it's actually a double blast from the past, really, because this is a stamp. This is a pattern that I made for last February 2023, and it's it was from February 2023. So I'm going to try, and I had 2 scraps that were 2 centimetre wide, but for this pattern I needed 3. So I am going to attempt to use this bit. Well, I will be able to use this bit, and this is another little trick I like to use. Well, here's a couple of tricks at the same time. I'm going to just going to, sometimes when you've got these little bits, there's not much to hold on to, and just putting a little bit of tape on it can help you. My blade's coming out of the tracks for some reason, don't know why. There we go. So cutting that one at 2, and we're going to cut this one also at 2. I think that might not be quite straight, even though even I don't cut things straight, but usually we can get away with it. Now there'll be a PDF, and all the instructions will be, cutting details will be in that, so don't freak out. It actually is going to work. Oh, I wasn't sure when I cut it whether these would match up closely enough. We're going to hide the join with a ribbon. It's a favourite trick of mine. So, yep, this is why Queen of Scraps works for me, because I do like to use even the tiniest bits, and over the years I've come up with lots of tricks that will help me use up even bits when they don't fit. So, scraps of DSP, and they need to be 10.9 was my size, 10.9. Of course, this will give me some other small bits. I have to come up with something to do with these, so 10.9, that's one. And this one's also 10.9. In fact, they're all 10.9. We've got 3 strips. A lot of things, the patterns that I've got that use strips call for 2.5 centimetre strips. So I was looking for something that would allow me to use these. So I'm not going to cut this because I'm just going to overlap them, I think, and make them the right size that way. I need a couple of mats. So I'm going to use a white mat first. And the first mat is 6.8 by 11.3. Usually I'd be using my scraps, but I don't really have many white scraps right at the moment. So we're doing that on 11.3. And the other dimension is 6.8. And in this DSP, this is, as I say, it's got a retired colour, and the retired colour is Pacific Point. But you can see, while it's not identical, the ironically, the blueberry bushel is a very very close colour, and I'm going to substitute that. I think it's going to look perfectly good. So you don't always have to use exactly the colour that is in the, I guess that's another tip too. 11.7 is what I'm doing this one at. 11.7. And then the second measurement is at 7.2. 7.2. Right, okay, that should be all the cutting except for some when we come to do the mats. Now, I really wanted to have mostly have the blueberries showing, because I think that's what I'm wanting to highlight. So I'm going to stick these down, and hopefully I've done my maths right. I'm pretty sure I have. I think I've made this one before. So I'm going to put the two similar patterns on the 2 outside parts, and we should have an even border on 3 sides. It's pretty good, and we're going to put something like this. Hmm. 11.3, that looks like. I hope I measured that right. And this one I'm going to pop in the middle. And I find if you're doing something with the strips that you want to have even, it's usually better to either do the middle one first or the middle one last. Don't work from one side, because then you can find you kind of run out of territory. I wonder if that will fit down there. That's probably close enough. Keep the longer bit, because, don't want to waste scraps. By the time we've put ribbon over there, you'll never know. Okay, so I'm going to mat. Carol Ann, you've done it wrong. I matted it onto the wrong one. But we'll make a slight detour here, make this slightly different. I thought I had bigger margins than I normally have, but that's okay. As I say, it's been a while since I made this one. So I'm going to have to make the, do a blue mat and then a white mat. Oh my goodness, Caroline. We can make this work. I make mistakes too. Hello, I can see someone's on watching. I can't tell who it is, but say hi, and if you've got any questions or any requests, please pop them in, and I will look at them when I have finished recording. I am definitely not able to multicast enough to look at those at the moment, but I'm glad you're watching. Thank you. So the mat I made was 7.2 by 11.7, so I am going to make it 5 centimetres more than that, so that will be 12.2. I'll put this alternate dimensions in here too. 12.2 by 7.7. We might have to change to a different card base too. Great. Okay. So then we should be able to mat that onto there. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to use, now you wouldn't even need to use ribbon. I know some people aren't big fans of ribbon. I love ribbon because I think it gives a interesting change in texture and dimension and all those things. But I don't have exactly the right colour ribbon here. I've got to see if these will work. This is a Azure Afternoon. I do have a white one. Don't know whether I like that on there either. But it's only a little bit there, so if I just put the sentiment there, it's going to cover it up as well. So, give me one moment to get a new card base, seeing as my white one isn't going to work. Well, it would work, but I don't really want to do white on white, so I'll use the rest of this, which we know is going to be 14.8. Someone's setting off fireworks, which is extremely bizarre. Oops, really cut that. Right, now, as you know, I often pop this up into here so I can get a nice even crease on it. There we go, so it's got quite a nice border there. What I'm going to do though, just to add a little bit of interest to that base, and seeing as I do have a stamp set I can use this with, I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping around the edges of this, just to tie in that blueberry theme. Give me one moment, and I'm just going to self-stamp it with blueberry bushel. So we're just going to get some blueberry bushel, and this just, especially when you've got a wider border of cardstock, it would have been even wider if I'd stuck with my original dimensions. Okay, so I'm just going to come in from the edges and just sort of stamp right off the edges like this. And it's just going to add a bit of interest at the edges. Here we go. And I do want to stamp the berries as well. So I haven't posted that yet, so you don't know this. A couple of things you might like to know when you see the video I recorded this morning. I do actually have some did actually get an extra bundle of this DSP, and so this is just designed to, I think we just go down to there. It's not the end of the world because it's just part of the pattern here. So they're not 100% accurate. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. But it's, so you've got these lovely blueberries. Put these ones up here. Yeah, so this is just, I think I'm going off camera because I get excited with myself. This is just a way of adding a little bit more interest. You've got some bits where there's, I might just do a, ooh, we won't do that. Excuse me. Just be careful. This is a very juicy ink pad, and I'm trying, I look like I'm getting ink everywhere at the moment. So just give that a little clean up. I'm just going to do a little bit of berries poking up there. And I might do a little bit of, oh, I didn't, I missed stamping this one. So don't forget, this is a way you can add interest. I've just about run out of this particular this paper, this colourway. That's part of the set. In fact, I've just about used up all the paper, and but this will tie it all together. So the bit that I'm going to put on here is just here. I'm just going to stick that down. Great. Okay, and I'm going to put a little phrase in the middle there. And what am I going to put on this one? Can I use something from the stamp set? Wishing you the very best. I'm not that a huge fan of puns. They do have their place, but not usually on a card for me. I'm not going to use that one. I also had out, because I was doing the strawberry one, so this one came out at the same time. Both of these are retired, of course. But what I was saying before, I think I might have got distracted. Happy birthday, you sweet thing. So nice. So we've got a happy birthday, you sweet thing. Let's see if we can stamp that on a piece of white card. And I'm going to use, I think too much, more blue I think is going to be too much. More blue is probably a bit too much. So I think I'm going to use the green that's in there. And the green, there were two greens really. I think there's some garden green, and there's some, there's a small amount of shaded spruce I think. But I'm going to use the garden green. And so let me know if you've got this paper. You might have it in your stash. I'm going to encourage you to use it if you do. Maybe this will give you some inspiration. And if you have fallen in love with this paper and the stamp set, I do actually have them available. I'm selling some of my, going to sell a featured thing each month from my stash. I do have a few things, brand new things in my stash that I can pass on. Happy birthday, you sweet thing. Now, I don't think I want to use my hexagon punch because I think that's a bit too big. This is quite a small area we've got here, so I don't want a huge punch. I might actually use a die, and I had some out earlier. Give me a moment. I will find a suitable die. Maybe I'll have to use a blast from the past die. Let's just see. Oh, I could always use a currant. I like to use currant ones because that is going to fit. Okay, good. Marvellous. I'll be with you in 2 seconds. And where's the other one of these? No, I'll have to use the big one. Thank you for waiting with me. I appreciate that. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to, let me see what I'm doing. Possibly not. Happy birthday, you sweet thing. Yep, that looks pretty straight to me. Just going to run that through. This has got some lovely stitching. Around the die. Pop it away. And once I pop that on there, you will never know there's a join there. I'm just, oh, lost it. I'm just going to pop this up on dimensionals. Now, if I wanted to do some extra stamping, I could stamp that blueberry spray and cut it out. I would have to fussy cut it because these did not come with dies. Now pretty much everything comes with dies. Things change so fast in the craft world sometimes. But I'm going to pop these dimensionals on. And I could do that, but I think that's enough. I think it's a sweet little card. I'm just going to pop that in the middle. Make sure it's straight. Yeah, probably not quite straight there. Come down a teeny bit there. Great. Now I just need to do the inside. And remember, you can also stamp your envelope at the same time. That's often a nice thing to do. I am going to get an insert, which I have sitting around here somewhere. Stamp the whole lot. I think I had this problem last time I used the blueberry bushel. It's a fairly new one, and I haven't used a great deal, and it's still very inky. So, good idea to wash your hands when they get like this. Otherwise, once I pick up my white insert, it's liable to get glue on it. And that's annoying. Great, I'll be back with you. 2 seconds. So yes, just going to stamp that insert. I should have an insert sitting around here somewhere in this pack of inserts, but also cannot find that. So I will cut another one while I am here. And I'm just getting this ready to do a little bit of stamping on the inside. Also, I quite often like to use a little bit of DSP, but these bits of DSP are a little bit too small. Even if I tried to piece them together, I don't think I can get away with it on the inside. I'm not throwing them away though, because I might use them for something else. Never say never. Okay, let's quickly cut one of these. So I used to always have to look up these numbers, but now I've cut these sizes hundreds of times. Must be hundreds. I wonder how many times. I don't have to look it up anymore. Okay. So I'm just going to do a little stamping on this just to tie the front and the inside together. It's always nice. I'm going to use the garden green again. And I'm just going to stamp a little blueberry leaf. And I could stamp there. This is a 2-step stamping stamp set. So I could come along and stamp the insides, and it's got quite a lot of nice shading on it as well. But I think we're just going to do the outline this time round, because it's just to tie it all together, and you can see where those are going to land. They're just going to sort of land there. And here we go, our little blueberries, and add that to the inside of our card, and we'll be done. There'll be another blast from the past. And obviously you can use this with any scraps. You can use this with any coordinating DSP. It doesn't even have to be, I have used, the 2 sides of one paper, but they don't need to be even from the same suite. You can just make them work. Happy birthday, you sweet thing. There we go, another card finished. Hope you like that, and I'd love to see any cards that you make using this design, and we'll talk again soon. See you next Sunday. But as I say, there'll be some new things getting posted on my website, on my WordPress blog. There'll be some links in there so you can access these, and also on YouTube channel, Queen of Scraps. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.